How we doing?
Good. Happy Monday. How's it
Happy
going?
Monday. Are we live on LinkedIn? Does anybody see us on LinkedIn right now? Can I get a comment? Anybody? I'm getting a notification that this broadcast was deleted, but I don't know if
Oh,
that's the case or not. Are you seeing that?
no, I'm not.
Okay. Can you see the event on LinkedIn?
Yes, it says waiting for broadcast.
Okay. Because hit refresh. Let's see if it's live there.
Okay. It says waiting for broadcast. I see 14, 15 people. It says invite, share. There's no join.
Okay.
It's waiting for broadcast.
Okay. What do we do?
Is there a way for me to launch it? I don't know if I can launch it. I
I
can.
think so.
I only have the invite button.
Okay. We need this to go live on LinkedIn. That's where most people are. And it says, look like this broadcast was deleted on LinkedIn. Try creating a new broadcast or remove this destination from the broadcast, then re-add it. Let's try to remove it. Delete on LinkedIn and then click re-add. And let's add LinkedIn to it. Go live now. All right. It says you are live. Now try hitting refresh. Let's see if it works. Come on, LinkedIn. Help me out today. This is super annoying. We got to make sure that we are not live, that this is working.
Still says waiting for broadcast.
Okay. Can you go to my LinkedIn profile? Am I live on my LinkedIn profile?
Let me pop over. Oh, yes, I see us. Join live.
This is super annoying. We got to make sure that we are not live.
We're good.
That this is working.
Still says waiting for broadcast.
On the main feed. Hey, Sarah, you go to my LinkedIn profile.
Okay. It was on your profile.
Okay.
It was just a little bit delayed, but I just closed it so there's no double echo.
The event itself said that it got deleted.
I was just on it.
The event page is live. Are we live on LinkedIn? Can someone comment if you could see us on LinkedIn? We are having all sorts of technical difficulties, which is annoying. I verified this yesterday. I went live on LinkedIn to verify that this would still work, and it doesn't look like it's working. Frustrating. Okay, Javier just gave me a hello, so we are live there. You see it on the event page. Super annoying. If it's not working on the event page, Sarah, can you copy the link to my profile and comment it on the event page?
Yes. Oh, there's people.
Oh, Stephen Dickey, my guy. Love Stephen Dickey. Good friend of mine. Gavin, how are we doing? Hey, are you guys on those that can see us live? Are we on the event page or are you on Kevin Hopp's profile? We're just trying to solve this little piece of it. If we could solve that piece of it, we're going to get right into the demonstration and the cold calling.
Where do you want me to put the link, Kevin?
Is there a place to put it on the event page, like comment it?
Let's see.
Okay. Okay, on my profile. Okay. Oh, Jorge Magnus says, all right, came through the event page. All right, well, I think it's time to get the show on the road. Let's do it. Sorry for the technical difficulties. You never know. This is software. It's all supposed to work, but does it ever work the way it's supposed to? Gosh darn.
Depends.
It does not. Well, hello, everybody. Kevin Hopp here, cold calling extraordinaire, CEO and founder at Hopp Consulting Group, where I help companies that sell B2B have cold conversations. This is what I do. Now, Sarah, joining me from ORUM. Sarah, introduce yourself.
Hey, everybody. My name is Sarah Bookhammer. I'm over at ORUM. I'm an account executive here. Super excited to make some cold calls this Monday, kind of get the phones going. So I'm happy to be here. Thanks, Kevin.
I love it. I love it. So this event is sponsored by ORUM. What is ORUM? What is ORUM? Sarah, can you help me like wrap my brain around it? Like, I'm a sales rep. I want to make some calls. I've got a phone. Do I have to pick up my phone and just press 10 digits at a time? Like, what does ORUM do, and what kind of problems are you existing to solve?
Yeah, so ORUM is a live conversation platform. So the whole idea is just to help teams and help sales reps, help SDRs get into more live conversations. I mean, we all know how manual it is to kind of click to call, to type in through your phone. But with ORUM, we just bridge you in as soon as we detect a live voice. And so, bam, you're just right there talking to your prospects, saving a lot more time in your day.
Ooh, I like it. Do you want to walk us through the platform real quick here? Let's see it live.
Let me share my screen here so everybody can see what this is all about. All right. You see my screen over there, Kevin?
Yeah, let's put this front and center. Boom, boom.
All right, everybody, you're going to get a quick live demo of what ORUM is. So I'm just going to press login. So here's all of our integrations today: Salesforce, Outreach, SalesLoft, and then Google CSV. So I'm just going to log in with Outreach. That's where all my leads live. And automatically, ORUM is going to auto discover all your sequences. Whatever list you want to call down, cadences, sequence, only do call tasks. So super exciting. ORUM is just going to call all the names on this list one by one, pull in all the numbers that you have. So essentially, ORUM has two flavors of dialers today. The first one is our power dialer. So like I mentioned, we're going to call one by one. See some of these names here: James, Isabel, Tom, but we're only going to bridge you in when we detect a live voice. So getting you into those live conversations, more repetitions on the phone, help you rant faster, practice your pitch, and just a lot more chances to book more meetings and create more pipeline. So that's the power dialer, is one by one. And then we also have a parallel dialer where you can call multiple people at once. Really strong integration with these tools where you don't have to disposition, you don't have to click to the next step, and ORUM does that automatically for you.
So I just wanted to highlight that a lot of salespeople are looking at this right now saying, well, shoot, I just view my list in HubSpot or view my list in Salesforce or Pipedrive, and I kind of pick up my phone and press the digits. So you're telling me all I have to do is use one of these sales engagement platforms that lines it up, right? So I have a list, and when you press start, what is Parallel going to do? Is it going to call one at one, or?
Parallel can call multiple at a time. So if I'm calling 4 people at once, I'm just going down my list. I can easily hit 50 people in 30 minutes, 100 people in an hour, but it all depends on who. Like, the idea is to get you more live conversations. So instead of that manual clicks that can take 3 to 4 minutes per person, we're completely eliminating that process and only getting you in to talk to people.
I love that. So one of the things that I think is really important to highlight, I'm going to stop sharing the screen and we're going to start dialing. One of the things, Sarah, if you want to press go on dialing, and then we'll stop as soon as you're in a live conversation. I'm going to stop talking and let you actually have a cool conversation live on air, which is super exciting. But one of the things everybody out there should realize is, in a given lead list, unfortunately, just because you have everybody's phone number doesn't mean they're all going to pick up their phone. And it doesn't mean they're all going to pick up their phone when you want them to. So if we know that, and we know it's a truth about human nature, that not everybody's going to pick up the phone, and not everyone's going to pick up their phone when you want them to, what ORUM's really helping you solve for is to find the people that are ready to pick up their phone when you want to have a conversation. And it takes that time of picking up the phone and 10 digits at a time times 100 dials. Woo! That's 1,000 button presses. ORUM makes it one button press and does 95% of the work for you. And all you have to do is be ready to talk. Be ready to talk live to your prospects. Fantastic software. I love it. Sarah, are we dialing? Are we running?
Oh, I'm dialing. Yep, I'm going down my list. Right now, I'm currently calling 3 at a time. What's cool about ORUM is when you're dialing, it'll let you know who's connected on the other side. I can see a button like, oh, there's something happening, and I can see a transcript. This is super helpful. Is it a voicemail? Is it a dial tree? So what I'm really looking for here is a hello. Then I have a good indicator. I have to jump right in because that's super critical to the process of cold calling, is having a smooth transition. So that's what I'm just waiting for a pickup.
I love it. I love it. One of the things that I think people, might have a misconception around is there software that's like talking to these people? Is ORUM like that software that's going to be like, hey, I've called about your car's extended warranty, or is it directly connecting you to the people?
Yeah, so ORUM is based off of AI. And so when our AI detects a live voice, we're immediately in that conversation. There's nobody that's between, no middle person. And so the delay, it's pretty minimal or even nothing. As soon as we hear them, boom, we're in that conversation. Hey, this is Sarah over at ORUM. Hey, Ryan, how's your Monday? Can you hear me? Hey, how's it going? I know I'm catching you cold this Monday. Reaching out, I see you're running the sales team over at Albu Systems, or we're a live conversation platform that sits on top of your outreach that allows your team to get into a lot more live conversations. Is that something that could be interesting to help you build pipeline over the phone? God, is your team using like outreach and Salesforce currently for their cold calls and outreach for emails as well? Got it. No worries. Is there a better time to reach out? I know if you're running around today. Okay, no problem. I appreciate it. Thanks, Ryan. Have a good day. All right, bye-bye.
Wow. All right. What happened there?
Yeah, so I got a pickup. Ryan's like, hey, this is my day off. What's going on?
Oh man,
Uh,
Juneteenth. So this is an interesting note. So we are calling on Juneteenth, but from what I've talked to, look, I've got 3 clients. 2 of them are off. 1 of them's on. Right. So like, it's probably going to be a big mixed bag as to if people are actually working today, which actually might be a good idea to just kind of throw that out there and say like, hey, I know it's Juneteenth. Do you have a minute to have a conversation about business? Could be a yes, could be a no, but
yeah,
who knows? Um,
awesome. Yeah,
I
called on a cell phone,
what was
said
that?
hello, was right into the conversation. So pretty simple.
I love that. Okay, cool. So I am going to take a turn here. I'm going to hit go on my side. For everyone watching, you might be thinking, well, why can we see what's going on? Can we hear both sides? Well, there's a little thing called laws. Like we don't want to like show someone's, personal identifiable information on a live platform. So ORUM's actually, thinking about ways to share this content with you guys. But for today, we're just going to hear our sides of the conversation. But do trust, these are live cold calls. And boom, I am dialing right now. I am going outbound. Really excited about this. So Sarah, talk. Oh, hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Chris, how you doing? Yeah. I mean, I know we've never met before. I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. I know I'm calling out of the blue on a Monday, Chris. Did I catch you with a minute to have a conversation? Well, Chris, one of the things that I try to do here is I reach out to founders and executives like yourself, and the conversation really is about how your sales team may or may not be making cold calls, but a lot of the people that are making cold calls mention struggles with having a lot of live conversations in a short period of time, and they might say things like cold calling is dead. We need more inbound leads. Chris, I'm just kind of curious, is outbound sales, going and finding your next customer, is that an initiative that you guys have today? Whoa, no way. So you have more inbound demand than you can handle at the moment? Wow. Okay. Interesting. So one of the things that when I talk to people that say that they have too many inbounds or a lot of referral activity going on, is there an initiative around growing your actual sales team and working on that inbound funnel at all? Okay. Awesome. All right, Chris. Well, Nice. Yeah. Raising your rates is a really good way to do that. Well, Chris, it sounds like it wouldn't make sense for us to talk because I generally work with organizations that are focused on that outbound growth motion and not where you are today. So no worries. I'm going to let you go. I might add you on LinkedIn though. Is that cool? Awesome. All right, Chris, have a great rest of your Monday. Cheers. There we go.
Gotta
Ding,
connect.
ding. Gotta connect. That took about what, 1 minute to get a connect? Less than that?
Yeah, we got 2 right off the bat.
Yeah, that was really, really quick. Jason chiming in here. My calendar's empty since we observed Juneteenth, and he's answering calls. So that was interesting too. That was the CEO of a tech company, a guy named Chris, and he said that they have way too much inbound demand, which is for what I do. I can help companies that try to automate too much of their inbound funnel. Like I'm a conversation guy. I believe conversations are king. So one of the angle I tried to take with Chris is like, hey, are you working on that inbound funnel? Are you working on having conversations with inbound leads? And he said no. And if you're not focused on outbound, guess what? I don't want to talk to you. And this might be a newsflash to some of the people watching where it's like, well, Kevin, why don't you like try to close him for a meeting? Because you only close for a meeting if it makes logical sense. I don't think it makes business sense. It doesn't make business sense for me to take my time and Chris's time to have a conversation about outbound if he just told me point blank that he's not focused on outbound growth. Ipso facto, moving on. You want to hit go, Sarah?
I'm going to keep dialing. Something to hit on that with the inbound. I mean, they may go cold at some point. Maybe it's the account you really wanted to get into. They showed initial interest, and after a few weeks, like it goes cold. Then you have to outbound and try to reach out to them again. So definitely keeping that in mind. That's really good to have inbound flow, but they don't always convert. And so we have to go outbound and hunt them again. Continue to reach out.
That's right. One of the things that I help organizations with is the idea that you should be calling your inbound leads. People think that like if you leave too much of it to automation and to like your inbound marketing funnel, then you're just leaving the opportunity to like reach out and have that human connection with people on the table, which is incredible. Like, you know, the first thing I do when I come to organizations, I'm like, hey, do you have a database, a list of people anywhere that you've spoken to maybe one time or that have come inbound 6 months ago, or anyone that's not ice cold outbound? Because ice cold outbound is gonna be the lowest converting, right? Because you're battling all the uncertainty, all the who are you? What? Never heard of that? No way. Oh, you're battling all that. But if you can go have a conversation and say, hey, I saw you filled out a form 3 months ago. When I speak to people like you, they generally care about X, Y, and Z topic. Ooh, now I call that leading the witness. Leading the witness. And that's actually a technique that everyone out there should take when they're doing inbounds. A lot of sales reps do, you know, I might use the word lazy sales reps. What they'll do is they'll say, hey, I saw you fill out that lead form. Why'd you do that?
What form? I forgot.
Are you interested? Oh, I saw you were interested in taking a demo. You want to take a demo? Like that is the talk track that I've seen so many companies, so many sales reps use that talk track. And it's lazy and it's very, very self-serving. So the opposite of that is to lead the witness, which is to say, hey, Sarah, saw you fill out this form. When I speak to people like you, when people like you who are account executives fill out the form, they're generally working on these areas of their business. Now, what does that look like for you? Now, all of a sudden, we're in a business level conversation with somebody who wanted to learn about our stuff. And of course, we're going to discover if we can take their initiatives and align it to what we do. But a lot of sales reps they think that because this person came inbound, then, oh, well, all I got to do is call up and say, how many do you want? It's an order form. Be a conversationalist, okay? Like get to know their business and align their objectives, goals, pains, you know, what they're working on with what you do. And when you do that, guess what? They're going to show up to the meeting. They're going to be a good prospect for you. It's going to work out well. How are we doing? The call's still rolling, Sarah?
Yeah, I'm going through my tasks. I might bump it up to actually calling 4 at a time. I was calling 3. So in times like when some of our team is using ORUM, some of our customers with low connect rates, especially going outbound, we can really ramp up to calling 4 people at a time or 3 people at a time. And that's what it's all about with outbound. Like you're going to have to make those calls anyway manually. But if ORUM does that for you, okay, let me just bump that up so to higher my chances of getting a pickup. So that's what I do periodically throughout my call blocks.
That's right. And once again, I think the thing that people need to understand about ORUM is that it is taking human nature. Human nature is what we battle when we go outbound, right? The monotony of outbound is human nature, because just because you want to call somebody does not mean they want to pick up the phone. So we know that people are not going to always pick up their phone. We know that people are using all sorts of software to block us. That's a whole nother conversation around like what technology is doing. Like I was watching a video with my wife, a movie with my wife this weekend, right? And in it, the phone rang, and it's like a dial, a rotary phone, and the guy immediately picks it up. Hello, and I was like, man, if I was alive, if I was a sales rep in like the 80s into the 90s, when
it would take so long.
Well, think about this. Human nature used to be, if the phone is ringing, pick it up. And you didn't have caller ID, and you didn't have spam likely. You didn't have a telemarketer tag on it. You didn't have any of that. You'd never gotten a call in your life that was automated where it's like, we've been trying to reach you about I bet you it was like, 1 in 5, 2 in 5 dial to connect ratio. You connected people way faster because the human nature was, oh, the phone's ringing. Hello. Nowadays, unfortunately, us sales pros that are out here actually working with valuable companies providing valuable solutions, we have to fight and we have to battle with the fact that the same prospects we're calling are getting those spammy, awful calls.
Hey, Josh, this is Sarah ORUM. They keeping you busy today, this Monday? Hey, is this Josh over at Builder Trend? Oh, I'm so sorry. I have the wrong number. Appreciate you picking up today. All right. Take care. All right. Bye-bye. Wrong number. Hey, that happens, especially if you're prospecting. You may have multiple numbers for the same person. And instead of going through all that, ORUM can help you get those pickups. But that happens. Don't always get the right person. So I'm just going to go ahead and disposition this. And yeah, Kevin, if you want me to keep going, or
I'll go. Yeah. I'm anxious to get a meeting here. Here we go. I'm dialing. It's rolling. And what's really cool about ORUM is that I can see who I'm dialing. This is not like some black box where calls are flying around left and right. I built this lead list. I know who's in it, and I can actually watch to see who's being called this exact moment. And then when they pick up, of course I'm ready. But here's a fun fact: the way that I teach people how to use ORUM and other things, right? Like when I consult with companies, I try and teach that I'm going to say the same thing no matter what. Whoever picks up, the same thing I'm going to say. And now if I know that whoever picks up on this list, I know who's on the list. I don't know who's going to pick up, but I know who's on the list. I know what they should kind of care about. So I'm going to say the exact same thing. So I don't really care who picks up. And that allows me to relax. And this is a concept that honestly, the whole reason I got into this, like how did I get to be at Hopp, like running my own company that's all about cold calling and all that stuff? Because when I was a sales rep, I was so anxious. I was so worried. I was like, oh, you do anything other than make your cold calls, because when you call, they might hang up. They might say they're not interested. Oh, something might happen that might tarnish my fragile ego. If we have a structure, hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. How you doing today, Peter? Hey, Peter, can you hear me? Yeah, my name's Kevin. I'm with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. Peter, I know I'm calling out of the blue. Did I catch you with a quick second to have a conversation? We have not met before, and I am calling you unsolicited. Do you have a minute for a cold call? Have a great day. There we go. I'd never advocate for lying to somebody. So what Peter said was, he said, have we met before? And I just told him point blank, we have not met, and this is a cold call. And he said, I'm busy. I got to go. And he hung up the phone, which is great. And some things he might have also said, he might have just thrown me I'm not interested, right? Which we all know doesn't mean that he's actually not interested. It just means that I'm busy right now. Therefore, don't talk to me right now, right? But because he said, I'm busy, what do I know now? I know that Peter picks up at this number. So I can put him into a nurture list of people that pick up their phones. The nurture list is not people that are interested or people that I'm following up with, but it's people that I have already confirmed. Okay, Peter is this title at this company and he picks up the phone at this number. Boom. When I call that list again, I'm going to get a much higher connect rate, which is going to increase my chance of success. I'm going to keep going. I want to get a meeting. I'm going to get a meeting. Or as we like to say, a meeting set.
Hey, this is Sarah over at ORUM. They keeping you busy today, Mackenzie? Can you hear me? Oh, I can hear you. I can hear you yes. Can you hear me? Hey, can you hear me okay? Oh. All right. So I was dialing at the same time, and I know you were dialing as well.
No worries. Hey, double tap. Call her back.
He said, he's like, I'm in a really bad place. Like, can you hear me? And he was
yeah, I wouldn't call that person back then. You know, when there are issues like that, I always advise to just call right back. And the first thing that you say, so when there's like technical difficulties or they have trouble hearing you or their earbuds or whatever, and then you drop that call, most sales reps will walk away from that because they're thinking, oh, they probably hung up because they don't like me, right? How do I know that? Because that's what I used to think. I used to be like, oh, they hung up, and because they hung up, like they obviously don't know they obviously don't like me. They obviously don't want to talk. It's not the case. So the first thing you do is you hit call back. You double tap. You're like, boom, call them back. And the first thing you say is, hey, I've been having phone trouble today. I'm so sorry about that. And what that does is it humanizes you immediately. Who hasn't had phone trouble? Who hasn't had connectivity issues? Everybody. Yep. So now this person's going to take that initial wall down and say, oh, yeah, phone trouble is the worst. Who is this again? Yeah, it's Sarah with ORUM. And you can get into it. They're going to have a little bit of that defense lowered because they're not like, are you a spammer? What are you doing? You know? So that's the way I handle that. Are you dialing?
I stopped.
Okay.
So yeah, you can jump into it. But yeah, I heard him for a second. That happens. He's like, I have bad service. Sorry about that. And then it just cut off.
It happens to the best of us. And it might happen today because people are out and about, but we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, another thing that really helps, like if you do a call back or you have to call back later in the day, is I can just switch my number that I'm calling from. If I'm calling from Bay Area number, or I see he's over in Tennessee, I can switch to a different time zone, and that can really help get another pickup. Number.
Like low key. Oh, hey. Oh. That was I got connected to the voicemail box, which happens from time to time. Within 2 clicks, boom, I'm back dialing. That was quick. So low key, like the best feature of ORUM is the ability to change your dial out number. Now, before anyone in the comments even says it, like, well, why are you changing your dial out number so many times? Like, are you using your local presence? I mean, you can try to kind of do a local presence thing, but ORUM doesn't do that, where it's like if you call 310, it calls from a 310, a 619. But the reason you change your call from number is because when your phone number, your phone rings. Now think about this. Once again, human nature, guys. Human nature. The human nature of your prospects is the same as the human nature of us, the salespeople. If your phone rings from a phone number you don't recognize, and a completely different number later in the day with a different area code, different number all the way around rings, your brain does not connect the two of those. They're not related. So changing your call from number is like a magical way to get a fresh attempt to connect to somebody, because what really matters is the live conversation. The only reason I'm calling these people is to have that live dialogue. And the reason you would pick up the phone in the first place is because you have something that could serve this prospect, right? I have a valuable solution to problems that people like them have. And my job is to go have a conversation with you about business challenges and potential valuable solutions. But I don't know if you have that business challenge until I have the conversation.
Yeah. And just with that, just the amount of time to manually dial one by one from the same number, you don't know what it looks like on the other end. Maybe they blocked you, or like, oh, I've seen this number call me 5 times because it's in your sequence 5 times. And if you change your number, like, oh, this is somebody else, but also saves you time so you don't have to do that manually yourself, and
Yeah,
a lot more time back in your day.
And the thing to highlight about that, by the way, there's different philosophies, okay? And I'm not gonna say that they're like good or bad. The philosophy I always teach, that I work with my clients on, that I bring to everyone that I work with, is when you see a number has called you 5 times in 5 days, you don't think, wow, this is probably really important. Like, human nature is, this is annoying. I don't know who this is. I wish they would stop calling me. That is the first thing that everybody thinks when a number calls you multiple times. Yep. Now, what can help us is the reason that a lot of people pick up cold calls is, my cousin lives in San Diego and a 619 number called. It could be my cousin, right? Like, yep. That is something that works a little bit in our favor, as opposed to the 1980s. The phone is ringing. I have no caller ID. I'm just going to pick up the ringing phone. Nowadays, everybody looks at their phone. And that moment when they look at their phone is so important. ORUM recently rolled out a really, really cool feature set to help you make sure that you're calling from numbers that are not going to say spam likely on them. So that is another thing. If you're an organization that's watching this right now and you guys struggle with that, hey, this is Kevin, Hopp Consulting Group. Josh, how you doing? Yeah, my name's Kevin Hopp. I run my own company. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. Josh, I know I'm calling out of the blue here. Do you have a minute and I can tell you why? Look, if you're busy at the moment, I will call back another day. Josh, I apologize. I'm going to shoot you a connection on LinkedIn, though. Look for that. All right, cheers. Bye-bye. Okay, cool. All right, so this is a really valuable one. Okay, so I just connected with Josh, and after the initial blah, 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 he said, yeah, I only have like 20 seconds. I'm in between meetings. Tell me what this is regarding. Now, Sarah, you tell me, how often, when you tell them what this is regarding, does that result in a positive conversation where you learn about their business challenges?
Not in 20 seconds, but you can potentially pique their interest, but then they're going to have to go anyway in 20 seconds. Like, you
right.
Or they're late to a meeting. If they're back to back, it's already 10:32.
That's right. I like to teach this mentality, being very defensive. Like, you have to defend your time and your ability to communicate with this person very proactively, because Josh saw a number he didn't know. He picked it up and he's busy. He's going between things. He's doing all, and then he says, what's this about? And he's not asking what this is about, because he's like, yeah, I got a minute. What's this about? And he's going to thoughtfully think about it. Mm-hmm. He's 9 times out of 10, he's going to say, oh yeah, we're good on that. Thanks though. I'm not interested. Take me off your list. Yeah. Because if he was interested, he would have called me. If he was interested, he would have called me. Now think about that. Well, then why do you call at all, Kevin? They're not interested. Because I call not to just find people who are interested and pick up the people ready to take a meeting. I call to have conversations with people where I can pique their interest and learn about their business and identify clear and present ways that I can provide value to them. Business challenges, valuable solutions. But it's about the conversation. It's not about are you interested in this? Because I promise you, everyone listening, the prospects on your list are not interested. Now that we know that, let's go have some conversations. You want to have a valuable conversation. Sarah, why don't you hit go? Let's see if we can't get a conversation in here. Set a for ORUM.
I am overdue. All right. Yeah, we've probably already made 50. I feel like I've gone through a lot of dials already, going through my do call steps.
I'm 32,000 on my side.
You're how many?
32 dials in with 3 connects, which is pretty good. Pretty good considering what's my total dialing time. I can see because ORUM has analytics, which is nice.
Yeah, that's another powerful tool is the analytics. Like in your call blocks, how many people are picking up? Are you keeping people on the phone for more than a minute long?
Check it out. My total dial time is 4 minutes. In 4 minutes, I had 3 conversations. What more do you need to know?
That's awesome. All right.
All right, waiting for the next connect here. So, talk to me about this, Sarah. So, when you're working with organizations as a account executive at ORUM, what are you finding is like the most common setup? So, I want to speak to like a lot of the SDRs or AEs that are watching this right now, and they're saying, "Well, I don't know how ORUM would fit into what I'm doing today, or what we do today kind of works. I don't know if this is going to be worth it." Like, what's the most common like setup that you see when people say, "I think I want to use ORUM, but I'm not sure"?
Yeah, I think it could go two ways. I mean, if a team is making, let's say, 40 dials in a day, and that could take them, let's say, 1 to 2 hours, and it all depends on their connect rate. So if a team has pretty low connect rate, it's going to take them a lot of dials to get anybody on the phone. So if some teams want to just, hey, 2x what I'm doing today, but I can't afford the time that it takes for me to 2x my dials in a day. I have to prospect, I have to customize my emails, do research on LinkedIn, find different numbers. It's very manual for an SDR to do that. And so with ORUM, you can double those dials, hit 80 calls, and get those, let's say, 2 to 3 connects in a day in the same amount of time you were doing 40 manually. So that's one aspect. It's just a numbers game, but ORUM can definitely help with that. Or, hey, I have great connect rate and I hit 50 pretty solid, but I need more time. Maybe they're like in large enterprise accounts. They need to go wide and deep in accounts and they want to achieve that 50 in a fraction of the time. I want that time back. Time is very valuable. And so they can use ORUM, just hash that out, maybe 2 quick 30-minute call blocks, morning and afternoon. They're up to date on all their lists.
Time is the one thing that we all have the same amount of, right? And it continues to blow my mind that like the year is 2022, and a lot of sales leaders think that the job of an SDR, the job of an outbound sales professional, is to spend their time doing these, CRM updates and click and here and okay, I got this person. Now I'm gonna look at this. I'm gonna type it into my phone. 1310.
Hey, Michael, this is Sarah over at ORUM. They keeping you busy today? Yeah, Michael, this is Sarah giving you a call from ORUM. I know I'm catching you cold here. I see you running the sales team over at Daily Pay. Or we help your team build more pipeline over the phone in a smarter way. I was actually calling 4 people right now when you picked up the phone. Is that something that could be interesting to your team? I was calling 4 people actually at the same time, just going down my list, and you picked up. And so, would that be interesting for your sales team to get into more live conversations, to book them some more meetings, help you achieve your pipeline numbers this year? Got it. Is your team doing a lot of outbound, or even the SDR team that supports the sales reps? No, yeah, no problem. I know you're out of the office today, and I really appreciate you picking up. Just to confirm in my notes, you guys are using like a Sales Loft or Salesforce internally? That's awesome. Yeah, that's really good. You have a great setup. All right, yeah. Michael, I'll try to catch you when you're back in the office. Thanks. All
There we
right.
go. Live conversation. How'd
Yeah,
that go?
yeah, it was good. He was like, "Hey, I thought this was somebody else. No one's expecting a cold call." He's just out of the office expecting a different call. But I was able to validate some information. He's like, "This just isn't a good time. Like, we have a good tool stack. I'll just reach out at a different time."
Interesting, interesting. One of the things, like a suggestion for you, when someone says they have an interesting, a good tech stack, or they have a good like setup, one of the things, like the like ever so slightly probing question would be, awesome. If you have a great technology stack, like how many dials does it take to get a conversation, and how many conversations are your
Yeah,
reps having every day on average? Do you know that number? Because
exactly.
and the only reason I ask And then because the answer is going to be, well, I can look it up, like it's in there. Like, oh, they don't have an answer for it. So then you say, well, the reason I'm asking is teams that use ORUM actually know those numbers, and they know exactly how many times they're going to communicate with their market in a given day, and they do a lot more in a lot less time. And then we can track and analyze and grow from, okay, if we know we're having 15 conversations a day, it's all about just narrowing on that talk track to convert the 15 conversations at a higher rate. I don't know. Does that process sound like something that might be valuable for you? And then they're probably going to say something like, well, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to do that. Well, that's what I'm calling. Ding,
Exactly.
ding, ding, ding. Love
Yep.
it. I'm going to go ahead and dial. You cool with that? Let's go. Ding, 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 ding.
Time is going by pretty fast. I'm going to check my analytics. I know you were checking yours a second ago.
Yeah, I was only 30 calls in with 3 connects. Ooh, shout out Lauren Beck, STR at ORUM. Here we go. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Eero, how are you? Yeah. My name is Kevin. I work with a company called Hopp Consulting Group. I know I'm calling out of the blue. It sounds like you're in the car. Did I catch you hands-free or? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can reach out tomorrow. Does that work for you? Okay. All right, Eero. Bye-bye. So Eero was driving, but then he's like, yeah, I got a car full of my family, and I could like hear like kids in the background and like all sorts of stuff going on. So, hey, what's really cool, once again, I know that Eero, which interesting name by the way, like Eero, EERO. He picks up the phone at this number. I'm calling him tomorrow. Ding, ding. Let me
mobile line.
Let me jump back into the queue. For the record, that was 2 dials before I connected with him. Bing, bing, bang. Effortless connections over here.
That's awesome. I'm looking at my stats here. My connect rate isn't as great as yours, Kevin, but I've in a total.
Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting Group. Dan, how you doing? Oh, he hung up real quick. Redial. Boom, 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 boom. Double tap. Dan, how you doing? Kevin with Hopp Consulting here. I've been having phone trouble. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hey, Dan, I know I'm reaching out of. Yeah, it sounds like I caught you out and about. I could hear that you're out doing stuff. Do you have 30 seconds to have a business level conversation? Love that. So I generally reach out and talk to founders like yourself to talk about, how I can help you with your outbound motion. A lot of founders are either doing founder-driven sales where you're normally tapping your network and only working with people that you know. And I help companies take that first step, which is, how do I create a process and a structure to get net new customers that you haven't met before? Is outbound sales, outbound growth kind of an initiative for your company this year? Oh, fantastic. Well, so I guess nice. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Dan, if you have an SDR team today, one of the things that I hear, which tell me if this resonates with you. Tell me if this is like what your organization's like. I tend to hear that SDR teams want more and more technology, and they say things like, cold calling is dead. We need more automation. And sales floors are moving away from this idea of talking the talk being important and having live, cold, prospective conversations. Does that resonate, or do you guys make cold calls? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Smaller the market, the more specific the need for a tailored conversation. I know you have a team in place. Oh, wow. Okay. So you got subject matter experts on the phone. Oh, I love that. I love that. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Well, Dan, yeah, well, to clarify, Dan, I don't do outsourced sales. I actually come from that world. I used to run a company that did outsourced sales where my pitch would have been totally different, where it's like, Dan, let me set meetings for you. What I could do, what I could help you with, if you think there's an opportunity, is putting together a system and process around the outbound sales function that focuses on a methodology that I call conversation first, right? You mentioned, your reps are lawyers. They have a legal background. They're not sales pros necessarily. Of course, they're doing that, but right. So, okay. Well, the last like way to verify that, Dan, like if your team is having enough conversations and they're having really good prospect conversations today, it wouldn't make sense for us to chat. If you think there's an opportunity for them to do more in less time, I'm all about system, process, and technology, right? So I blend the three of those into a whole approach that allows your team to effortlessly get into easily 15 to 20 live conversations a day. If that is not of interest, then no, it would not make sense for us to chat. But I'll let you tell me. All right. No, of course. All right, Dan. Well, have a great rest of your day. Cheers. Oh,
That was
so
great.
close.
That was a good conversation.
It was a great conversation. So, to Colin Mitchell's point, double tap. That was a double tap. Dan initially hung up. I called him back. The first thing on my mouth was the phone problems. He had a conversation with me. So I learned a lot there. Okay, so Dan has a team today. He thinks, and now you tell me, Sarah, how often do you come against this objection? Like, we can't do cold calling. We have a specialized market. Our market is specific. Well, yeah. I don't care how special your market is or how specific it is. How many times are you talking to people in it? Just because your market is specific doesn't mean that you need to spend more time in between conversations, right? When it's time to prospect, it's time to prospect. It doesn't matter how big or small your market is. You need to have conversations with people in order to learn about what the market's doing, who needs your help now, and who needs your help later. Like, that is the bottom line. But
you need pipeline either way.
Yeah, you need pipeline either way. And I understand that the bad cloud around cold calling is that it's like all high velocity. Oh, I don't sell widgets. Like, have you ever heard that? I've heard that. People are like, I don't sell widgets. I'm like, dude, I don't sell widgets either. But I cold call. Why? Because I have live conversations with people about their actual business challenges. And then I can establish whether I'm helping you now, I'm helping you later, or I can never help you. But yep. So pretty classic objection from Dan. Did my best at the end there. I don't push to close for a meeting unless it makes business sense. Dan said that would not make business sense for him. So I'm off. You want to press go?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Wow, lots of learning here, but I wish that we could flex about all the meetings we're getting instead of the learning.
We're getting some conversations. We're getting some connects.
Yeah, we are getting lots of conversations. That was really quick, by the way. How many? Yeah, that was 4 dials to get a connect and an awesome conversation with a CEO. That was a CEO of a company. Love that.
I mean, if the team is relying on emails and going back to your point about being strategic, if you have the hook and the notes and the information that you have in front of you to really help you tailor that can really help this phone avenue be more productive in building pipeline. If, we're just doing emails today, I mean, it may not get the team where they need to be.
It's well, I mean, so let's talk about that for a second. Like, in the same way that email is a numbers game, cold calling is a numbers game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's important to acknowledge the fact that not everybody takes cold calls. There are people that you can call them 100 times. They won't pick up their phone, right? Apple has a feature. Thank you, Apple. I love all your products, but I hate that you do this. They have a feature that'll skip. It'll skip their phone. It'll skip if you're not in their address book. So if you're not in their address book, you can't even call this person. All right. That is going to just dead in the water right then and there. Right. Because you can't even sell to those people on the phone. You can't have a conversation. So you got to send them an email. So email is great as a supplement to the people that you can't talk to. But one of the things that's really interesting is, like, if I sent Dan an email with that same value prop, do you think that he was going to hit reply and type out that reply?
Probably just let it sit in the inbox.
That's right. That's right.
Maybe not.
That's because that's what I do. That's what you do, right? When you get an email, even if it's sort of targeted, right? I made a LinkedIn post about this, by the way, like 4 or 5 months ago, and people went absolutely nuts because I said this SDR sent me an email. It was targeted, and it was accurate, right person, right value prop, something that I could see why he was trying to sell it to me. And I just simply unsubscribed. And people went nuts. They're like, oh, you're like trashing SDRs. You're like, look, no, I'm the number one SDR BDR advocate. I understand. But that's just the name of the game. The name of the game is, if I don't need this today, if I don't see how it fits into what I'm doing today as a clear and present need in an email in particular, I'm not going to articulate that back to you, right? That's why I'm obsessed with cold calling, because I just had a 4-minute long conversation with Dan. How much did I learn about his organization? A lot. Learned a lot all about his organization. Took really good notes. I have that. All that rich data that you can't get any other way than having a live human conversation is now captured. So that's why cold calling is king. That's why cold calling will never be dead. Because as long as humans communicate, like, cold calling is the best, most efficient way to find out what's going on in your market. Who am I helping now? Who am I helping later? Who am I never helping? That's all we want to do, is have conversations to get there.
And if you didn't have that conversation with him, you would continue to call, and you wouldn't know that it wasn't a bad fit at the time.
That's right. That's right. Matt's got a good point. Got to have good data. Good data. Good data is important. Accurate data is important. Very important. And ORUM does help you, no matter what data you have, find the people that are going to pick up the phone as soon as possible. But good data is very important. Are we running? Is your dial running?
I'm going through my dials right now, calling 4 at a time. But going back to the data piece, ORUM can actually let you know when you're calling failed numbers. So going down your list, if ORUM calls them more than 3 times and it's a failed number, or is it a dial tree? Are you hitting their voicemail? Do they have their name in their voicemail? ORUM can identify that to help validate I'm calling the right people, or I need to get some of this information out of here. A lot of companies have old data from years ago, HQ numbers, and they're just wasting a lot of time trying to navigate that themselves. It's going nowhere.
Oh yeah. That's the kind of stuff that as a sales pro that's seen the light and uses technology and has a process and everything now, that kind of stuff makes my skin crawl. Like, I can't imagine that there are BDRs out there that spend most of their day pounding numbers to, well, thank you for calling Acme Corporation. Press 1 for this. All right, 1.
Hey, Chastity, this is Sarah over at ORUM. They keeping you busy today? Oh, I'm so sorry. I have the wrong number. Appreciate you picking up today. Oh, great. Oh, yeah. So this must be this is Sarah calling from ORUM. I know she's running sales enablement, so I was just trying to have a conversation with her today. Is there a better number? So I definitely don't want to keep calling this number. Great. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 4258. Awesome. I really appreciate you sharing that. Were you able to spend time with her yesterday for Father's Day? Awesome. Great. Well, yeah, I know we're just coming off the weekend, so I appreciate you picking up and sharing that number, and have a great week. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right. So I called Chastity. Her father picked up. Like, this is her. This is her father. I'm like, okay, well, can you give me her direct number? So he shared with me her number. So now
nice. There we go. And we can update our records.
Yes.
Yeah, anyone that's made enough cold calls has had that happen. I had one last week. It was one of my clients where the BDR was like trying to talk to this guy named Tim, and a female voice picked up, and he immediately called it out. And then she's like, "Well, I'm Tim's gatekeeper." Like, and I'm like, I'm watching on Zoom, and I'm like, and the BDR continues to be inquisitive and ask, and then she's like, "Well, look, I'm his wife, and no one talks to Tim unless I want them to talk to Tim." Well, she was being kind of funny, but then once the BDR said, "Hey, I haven't met Tim, but I was hoping to have a quick conversation with him about kind of business and what we kind of do," she said, "Okay, cool. Let me pass him the phone." And she was sitting next to him on the couch and handed him the phone and had a good conversation with the guy. But it's funny. The database companies are fighting a battle that is never ending on like accuracy of data, right? Like, I don't envy how difficult that is for all the many database companies out there to try and pair the right person with the right number at the right time. But either way, are you dialing? You want me to hit go?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I just updated my records with her new number, which I did have in the system, and I validated that this is the number I should call and stop calling that other one.
Love that. Love that. Come on, we're gonna get another one in here before the end. I'm glad that despite it being Juneteenth, we are getting connects. That is a good sign. Good sign that people still pick up the phone. Headed into the last 3 minutes here. Hey, this is Kevin, Hopp Consulting Group. Andrew, how are you? Yeah, my name's Kevin Hopp. I run my own company, actually. It's called Hopp Consulting Group. We never met before. Do you have 30 seconds? I'll tell you why I called you. Awesome. Do you have 30 seconds to for me to tell you why I called you? He said no and hung up. So, what we do there, I keep that guy in sequence, and he'll get another call another day. Now, what's another possible outcome of that? By the way, I'm dialing again. But what's another possible outcome of that is something that I call not a phone lead, right? So once again, let's remember human nature. If I got a lead list, only X amount of people are ever going to pick up their phone. These people might respond to emails. These people are active on social, but everyone's got their own personal preference, right? I'm the kind of guy, if my phone rings, I'm going to answer it as long as I'm not busy. I'm not one of the everyone's least favorite prospect to call. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Daniel, how are you? Sounds good. Bye-bye. Interesting. Daniel picked up and said, "Hey, I'm driving. I thought this might be an emergency," which is, look, it's not an emergency, but he's like, "I got to go. Send me an email." All right. Adios. 2 clicks. I can use templates to send him an email. That's easy. But what was I going to say? Oh, the worst possible that we've all seen is when the person you're calling is like, you could hear a Zoom in the background. They go, "Hey, yeah, I'm in an important meeting. Hey, this is Kevin with Hopp Consulting. Corey, how are you?" I'm going to double tap him, but after I finish my thought. So they say, like, "I'm in a meeting. I'm in a board meeting. I'm closing on my mortgage right now. Yo, it's the birth of my firstborn child. Yo, I'm getting married in an hour, but what's this regarding?" Why do you pick up your phone? Why do people pick up their phone when they clearly have no time to talk? I will never understand. If you find out the answer, Sarah, you got to let me know because I have no idea.
Yeah.
Let me double tap Corey as our last thing of the day. You ready?
Do it.
Double tap. Double tap. Let's go.
Get that. Could you try again?
Come on. Come on, Corey.
But
Come on.
also, you're staying positive. Like when you do get these objections, don't take it personal. Okay, on to the next. Call them again.
Oh, looks like Corey. Let's wait for it to ring out. No. All right. Well, Corey did not pick up. We have hit time. Sarah, this has been fantastic. Look at your analytics. How many dials have we made? How many conversations have we had?
Let's see. Mine wasn't as good as yours. My connect rate was a little bit lower. I think I made 125 calls or just about that. Just in a matter of, let's see, 123 calls, total dial time 16 minutes.
Wow. All right. All right. That's a lot of productivity in a short period of time. I only made 45 dials and had 6 conversations. Let's go. No meeting set. Only a total dial time of 7 minutes. But look, that's 45 dials and 6 conversations in 7 total minutes of dialing. I've got the rest of my day. I'm just going to keep hitting go as soon as we're done with this because I am fired up. And thank you, everybody, for joining. Really happy that you were there with us. If you're interested at all in connecting and learning about cold calling, I'm your guy. If you're interested at all in ORUM, Sarah is your gal. Sarah, thanks for joining me. I do appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
All right, let's play our outro. Cheers.